We are now in the off season, and there are so many exciting things to talk about leading up to the NFL draft. And one of the most fun is to think of where these players could go, what teams they could be on, what round they'll be drafted. All of these things, very, very exciting possibilities. So, what I wanted to do today is I wanted to take a look at this running back class for 2025. And I wanted to see where I thought these players could go and how many are going to go within the first 3 rounds. Now, last year we only had 4 running backs go in the first 3 rounds. We had 1 in round 2, and then we had 3 in round 3, and then that was it. Well, I'm doubling that in the first 3 rounds with this video here. I'm going to talk about all 8 players, where I think they're going to go, and to what teams. Let's start off at the top. I have Ashton Jeanty as the first running back off the board in the NFL draft. That's not going to surprise anyone. And I do have him going to the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't think he's getting taken at 12. And you say, Garrett, well, the Dallas Cowboys have the 12th pick. I think they will have to move up into the draft in order to get Ashton Jeanty. But if they do that, I do think they could move up to maybe 8 with Carolina, 7 with the New York Jets, and to take this, I don't want to say generational running back, because I think there have been a couple running backs over the past decade that have been better, but still a very, very top tier running back. Dallas obviously desperately needs a running game. They've got a new coach there. They've got to get this offense moving. Dak should be back and be healthy. You have CeeDee Lamb there, and they got to get this thing going. Schottenheimer, he has the opportunity here to take an incredible player to help instantly turn around this offense in Ashton Jeanty. So I have him going right around the 7 or 8 spot to the Dallas Cowboys. All right, we are outside of the first round now, although I could also see the Browns trading up, maybe to try to get a 5th year for this running back, because we know how valuable that is at the running back position. But right now I have them staying at 33 and taking Omarion Hampton. That's the running back out of UNC. This is a big physical player, but much more nimble than I think he gets credit for. Does a great job out of the backfield, catching passes. And in an era where we no longer have Nick Chubb as the star in Cleveland anymore due to age and injuries and things like that, Omarion Hampton is a great fit for the Cleveland Browns. They need somebody that can be a physical, between the tackles grinder, get those hard yards, but you're also hoping for somebody that can hit big plays now and then. And Omarion Hampton can do all of that. I think he is a great fit for this team and the personality that Cleveland wants to have at the running back position. So I'm going to have Omarion Hampton going 33 overall to the Cleveland Browns. This one just makes too much sense. At pick 37, the Las Vegas Raiders are selecting TreVeyon Henderson. Yes, Chip Kelly just became the offensive coordinator in Las Vegas, and you add in the fact that it's a Pete Carroll run team, so you know that they are going to want to run the football. TreVeyon Henderson coming off a fantastic season where he helped lead the Buckeyes to a national championship. So I think this is a great spot for him. TreVeyon can do it all. I think he's better in that 10 carry, 5 catch type of role. So it wouldn't surprise me if there is somebody else a part of this group. Maybe they even keep Zamir White as kind of that complementary to TreVeyon, or they bring in somebody else and run a 2-back set. But either way, I think TreVeyon Henderson would be a great fit for this team. And obviously we know he's a great fit in Chip Kelly's offense. At pick 41, we are in the second round, and this pick here goes to the Chicago Bears, and it's Kaleb Johnson. We know Ben Johnson, he loves what he had back in Detroit, where he had 2 amazing running backs, one that's a little more thunder, one that's a little bit more lightning. I think he has an opportunity to do that here with DeAndre Swift, who he knows well, and Kaleb Johnson. Kaleb Johnson would obviously be more of the thunder on that, but don't sleep. Kaleb Johnson's got some nice wiggle. He's got some nice moves. He put up a huge season in the Big Ten. So he's a all-around workhorse type player. He could do it by himself, and he doesn't necessarily need a DeAndre Swift. But I think Ben Johnson likes to keep his guys fresh and likes to be able to utilize 2 backs to his advantage, utilizing their skill sets and abilities. So I don't think any of these running backs I mentioned so far, I don't think any of them get out of the second round. And right now they are all top 50 picks. A guy that just fell out of the top 50 picks, but he's here at 51. Quinshon Judkins to the Denver Broncos. Quinshon showed this year at Ohio State that he can do a little bit of everything. Let's not forget, this was somebody that put up 1,500 yards in the SEC as a true freshman. I love the way he runs the ball. He is a physical, angry running back with the ball. I think he would be great for what they're doing in Denver. They've built a pretty good offensive line over there, and now they have the opportunity to get a running back to kind of complement what Bo Nix has been doing in the passing game. I know that they did it a little bit by committee this year out of necessity, but I think Quinshon would likely take over the lead back role and be the main guy there. Would they maybe bring in a receiving back at some point? Maybe, but Quinshon's good enough to be a good receiving back in this league as well. So it's not necessarily something they would have to do, but it's something that they very well could do. All right, at pick 77 in the second round, we have the New England Patriots. And Mike Vrabel's their head coach. And last time they took a running back on day 2, that was a Doak Walker Award winner. That was a big physical specimen. It worked out pretty well for them and Derrick Henry. I think they try that same type of formula here with a guy by the name of Ollie Gordon. Now, he's not necessarily my favorite player in the draft at the running back position, but he's got some skills that could translate if he's put on the correct team to use him the right way. Obviously, Vrabel knows how to use a guy like that. And New England has 2 picks in the third round. They only had 1. I'd say maybe they don't bother using it on a running back. But in this situation with a new regime, I think that's something that they really look at, and they look at plugging in a guy that could be that physical between the tackles guy. Ramondre Stevenson's been okay, but fumbled a lot last year and just has been a little bit inefficient. So I think they look to use Ollie Gordon as maybe that more true physical, bruising, beat you up type running back. I can also hit the big play from time to time like Derrick Henry can. Now, he is no Derrick Henry. He's not going to put up the yards Derrick Henry has put up in the NFL. But that being said, Ollie Gordon, I think, is a very logical fit for a Mike Vrabel-led offense. We only have 2 more running backs to talk about here at pick 86. So we are in the middle of the third round here. We're looking at Cam Skattebo. Cam Skattebo going to the Chargers. I think this would be an amazing fit for this team. You look at Harbaugh, he wants somebody that can be mean, can be physical, can grind out the tough yards. That's what Skattebo can do, but he can also catch the ball really well in a backfield, and he operates well in a phone booth. He's not a long speed guy. He's not going to beat anybody that way by pure athleticism, but by being a smart player, by being a physical player, and doing the dirty work that needs to be done, he can be a guy that gets on the field for the Los Angeles Chargers. So I think when I look at what this Greg Roman, what this Jim Harbaugh offense wants to do, they want a guy like that. They want somebody to complement what Justin Herbert's going to do in the passing game. And even though they threw the ball more last year than they have in previous years, and partly that's due to just how good Herbert is, I think they would love to get back closer to their roots, and a Cam Skattebo can help them do that. Last but not least, we have a comp pick in the third round, and that's the Minnesota Vikings at pick 97. And I think they go with Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson, one of the smallest backs out of all the guys we're talking about here. In fact, he is the smallest back, but he put up a huge season in the SEC for the Tennessee Volunteers this past year, and this guy is electric. He has got true home run speed. He is a guy that can make you miss, but he also did better between the tackles than you would have expected from a guy his size. I think the Minnesota Vikings are an offense that looks like they could really be running soon. I mean, they made it work with Sam Darnold this year, which the 6 previous seasons looked like he was not a starting NFL quarterback, and now he's going to be getting a good contract this offseason. J.J. McCarthy is going to need somebody else to take a little bit of the pressure off. Aaron Jones is a free agent. So I think I think Dylan Sampson would be a really fun fit for this offense, and I think he would be somebody that would help propel it to the next level. And guys, there's still so many players that could go, and there's so many landing spots. I mean, just off the top of the head, looking at Kansas City, Washington, Cincinnati, New Orleans, Baltimore, even Houston. Some of these teams have older running backs that are good, but they're going to be looking for the guy of their future. Some of them might want a complimentary back. Like, there's all these possibilities, and some of these could still be full-time back. So we could even see another running back or two pushed into these top 3 rounds, or some of these teams jumping other teams to make sure that they get their guy. Should be a fun draft for the running back.